Hello and welcome back to CTR Part 17, where we are still doing more relics. We'll be doing relics for like this part and the next part, but after that we will be finishing off the game.
Yes, next it will be all races and no more cute faces.
Well, you know, it's like one race left.
Very few faces indeed.
The tiny arena relic is actually pretty damn simple. I mean, I hate this course in general, but getting a good time here is not as difficult. As it probably should be.
Slide, turn, hop. Oh yeah, it's pretty simple so far.
Well, that's how you do all of the races.
Hop, hop. Watch out for those
three
boxes.
So what is World of Cloud whilst we were going through repeats again?
I am coming in on the close of We Living now. I've been reading that book. Well, that's the curse with library books in general, is that because I have to return it eventually, it's going to really stretch out how long it takes for me to finish it. But I think I'm on the last like 100 pages of that book. And again, that's the book that talks about the beginning of the USSR.
How long does your library rentals last?
3 weeks.
3? How does it take you so long to read through those books? I get like 2 weeks on mine, but I usually end up sitting down and reading all of that book, all of whatever book I grab in like one, 2, or at most 3 days.
It's because I don't read a lot per session of reading. I have many sessions of reading throughout the day, at best. There's some days when I only have one reading session, in which case I only read 2 pages. I turn the page, I reinsert the bookmark, and I close the book, call it a job well done.
Honestly, I don't think that I could actually enjoy my reading sessions like that.
Oh yeah, well everybody reads at their own pace and their own style. I mean, there's some people I've met who read an entire book in just like an hour. they just breeze the pages through. It's like, yep, I got it. I got the gist of it.
I am actually pretty guilty of doing mass skimming.
It's not every story just a gist.
I usually end up doing mass skimming on books that I've already read and I'm rereading for pleasure. It's very noticeable to me while I'm going back through Styx and Born of Silence, books that I really enjoy. But there are a lot of individual sections in there where I'm like, yeah, she's doing a lot of emotional descriptives again. I already know where the characters are at this point. I can just keep going.
Still
anything else new in the World of Cloud?
Oh, what else is new is Mountain Dew. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really drink soda.
I drink way too much soda.
Soda's got sugar, phosphoric acid, food coloring, nitroglycerin,
and carbonated water,
bubble water. That's how you order seltzer in Germany. You ask for water with bubbles.
No, we are nearing.
Yes, we are nearing the end of the 3rd lap on the tiny arena.
Which is ironically one of the biggest tracks in the game.
Which ironically has received the smallest amount of attention from us.
Well, because I don't like this course, very specifically. Screw this course. Although, I think we end up doing the terrible thing. Do we do the terrible thing?
Well, here's what I noticed about Tiny...
Yep, we did the terrible thing. We got the platinum.
You got the platinum. Well, damn it. So, what I noticed about Tiny Arena that I kind of appreciate is there are no real hazards in this map. You can slow...
the mud pits themselves, but otherwise, no. Well, there are no other actual hazards.
I would describe a hazard as something that makes you spin out or fall off the course, but you can't fall off the course, and you can only get slowed down by the obstacles.
There is one segment where you can fall off. You usually, but you don't usually end up falling off there because it's a straightaway.
But, well, doesn't it... Does it pull you back onto where you fell off, or do you have to? Like...
Yes, it does.
Oh, thank God. Okay, so I take that back. There are falling hazards in Tiny Arena, but that's it.
It's falling hazard. It's
really
literally
straightforward
one spot.
course. Yeah.
Moving on to engine labs, which I actually really like, despite the fact that there's a placement bug in it.
Placement bug?
Yeah, I brought this up way earlier, but one of the times when I was going through engine labs just recreationally, I was, in a pretty dominant first place lead, and all of a sudden I look down and I'm apparently in second place with the guy in first place having teleported almost a full lap ahead of me. I don't know how the hell that happened, and I've only ever seen it happen once.
It sounds quite terrible and would make me want to cry after working so hard to get first place.
Well, engine labs isn't honestly all that challenging of a race for me. It's a lot of relatively easy turns.
And boxes.
Yeah, there are a lot of boxes even in the normal run through of engine labs. Getting all 70 of the time crates in engine labs is extremely difficult, specifically because there are a lot of boxes that are over the pits. And
that was a lot of threes.
Yeah, there's there are pretty much 3 designated pathways that you're supposed to take in order to get the platinum, and I don't know what they are, so I don't bother.
With trial and error, I'm sure you could figure, okay, I'll get this box on the second lap, I'll save that box for the third lap, be sure to get this one first, don't miss all these ones in a row. That would be a procedure to get all 70 of the boxes in this map.
And up. Since I already asked you what's new with you, I guess I should inform the viewers what's new with me.
Divulge.
I finally finished World of Final Fantasy. I really enjoyed it. I think I brought this up. No, I didn't bring this up last time because I finally finished the post-game stuff for it over the weekend. And I gotta say, I really do enjoy it. I think that the stack mechanic actually adds quite a bit defensively, although not so much offensively. Hey, we didn't fall off there. Cool. And my major complaints for World of Final Fantasy, as I did bring up last time that we were talking about it, is that the story is still, it's fetishizing the time goddesses. And come on, Square, don't do that.
How do you fetishize a time goddess?
Very specifically, all right. One of the major spoilers for World of Final Fantasy is that Alexander has got 4 different fucking avatars in this game. Now, do you remember who Alexander is in Final Fantasy lore?
No.
Alright, Alexander is the giant holy elemental castle that has been a summon since Final Fantasy VI. However, in World of Final Fantasy, he is a bridge, he's the bridge, he's the Colosseum, and he's Anna Crow. And Anna Crow is the first major NPC that you interact with in the story, because she's the one that resurrects Ray and Lon, who are our primary protagonists. But yeah, Alexander actually has 4 different fucking embodiments in the game, and
he
you
could
don't
be
get
either
to use any of them, sadly.
And he could be either a bridge or a Colosseum.
He is a bridge, he is a Colosseum, and he is Anna Crow.
So why does he let people walk all over him?
Well, mostly because he's asleep during most of those times.
Okay, so
no, seriously, that is actually a plot point. Alexander, while he is a very powerful Esper, and yes, he's both an Esper and a Cogna, Alexander gets all the fucking love in this game, and it's all off screen.
Well, that's fantastic for Alexander. Now, can you answer my original question? How do you fetishize a time goddess? Does it involve falling off the racetrack?
Because, all right, since Final Fantasy 13, there's been a lot of emphasis on time manipulation, and specifically the deities in the Final Fantasy universe that control time. And a crow is the latest physical embodiment of the time goddess, and she is not only the first major NPC that our characters interact with. She is literally all powerful. Now she is all powerful to the point where when the Big Bridge Alexander gets corrupted by a Cogna, no one else can see it, but she can pull it out and have Ranlon fight it. It's actually a DLC thing. That's a free DLC. So yeah, once you unlock the girl who lost her memory, who we have no idea who the fuck she is, she gets no explanation. You can actually do one of the major post-game fights as like right away. I decided not to do that because it was a 5-star mission and I was scared of it. But once I actually finished the main story, I went back to try it, and oh yeah, that's where I fell through the track.
What the? Oh, all right. Thank you for the delayed reaction, Uncle Arthur.
Yeah.
Fucked up my time.
Where I consider Alexander's fourth incarnation to be, because then you end up fighting Omega God, which is the final form of the Omega weapons, and he is literally a giant mech, a giant bipedal humanoid mech, in fact.
So lots of power swinging around. Lots of very powerful characters. Everybody's big. Everybody's got big names. The names are dropped. People go, oh shit.
But yeah, what I mean when I say they are fetishizing the time goddess, as the Final Fantasy 13 series has gone on, and Final Fantasy in general, the deities of time keep getting significantly more powerful, and I'm not okay with that, to be perfectly honest, because it takes away a lot of the majesty and impact that a lot of the other major NPCs have. Specifically the recurring ones like Ifrit, Shiva, Leviathan, and Rama. And no, I can't pronounce Ramu correctly, so I always pronounce him Rama.
I would say, yeah, you have had way more exposure to the Final Fantasy series. You can observe the progression of like increased detail on these ultra powerful guys who might as well say, yeah, he's the most powerful, and then somebody else comes, oh yeah, they're the most powerful, and then all the wonder you see the sequence leading up to these profound declarations of power, and you scratch your head going, was it always coming to this?
You know, just like a majority of shonen anime.
Well, all I have to say is that I'm trying not to get into a discussion on metaphysics because I'm not even sure if I understand what that word means. But time is like everything. It is what makes things possible. It's what makes this video possible. Ha ha ha.
Kinda. Space is actually as important, or even more so than time.
And that's why I think that in general, that time goddesses should be extremely powerful.